Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back, and this is Train Sim World 3. It's been a big morning for patches across many different routes and DLCs that we've got. There's a lot incoming, but in particular I wanted today to have a look at Midland Main Line because I've had loads of trouble with this on the PS5. In particular, there's one scenario that I couldn't finish with the HST. It would always crash the whole PS5. Whether that be during a video, playing offline, or playing with you guys in a live stream. So we're going to test it today to see if that is improved. There's a whole host of changes that has come to Midland Main Line, and once we get underway, if we can get underway, we'll have a run through the sort of headliners, if you will. The patch notes for everything, Midland Main Line and the other DLCs, are all available now on the Train Sim World forums. Go and check that out because there's a heck of a lot of detail. But one highlight is for this that in the timetable for the HST now, despite what it says there in the UI, it says that I've completed 3 out of 38 services. There are actually now 89 services for the HST. Believe me, there is. I've counted them. You can see a lot more has been added throughout the day, which is excellent to see. There's also additional services for the Rail Operations Group 37 if you own that, but that hasn't come to console yet. That's only on PC at the moment. There's also the Taunton to Leicester aggregate freight service. That hasn't come to the console yet, but it will do. So there must be some issue with the freight runs on console at the moment. So anyway, we're going to go and dive in to the scenarios. If I just refine it again, I went back too far. I've done 6 out of 7, and it was this one, Not Quite Awake. This was the one I was struggling with. It's only 20 minutes long. It's in the HST. So we'll jump into this and we'll see if we can complete it, because it just says general performance improvements. Now I don't know if the crashing on PS5 is sort of lumped in with that and it's been fixed, but let's try it. Welcome aboard. It's a fast run through your section this time. Complete the boarding and head south. Okay, we'll get the doors unlocked. So we're at Derby Station, and there's been some scenery improvements as well as we go. Now you locals will be able to tell me what is updated with Derby Station, but we'll get set up first before we do anything else. We're already in forward, so that's good. Now one thing that I do want to test is the DSD, because the DSD, that's in normal already. Okay, that's good. The DSD wasn't able to be cancelled with the controller, certainly on PS5. If you've got a keyboard, then you're okay, you can do it, but you couldn't do it, so you used to come to a complete halt. So that's a big one for me. I hope they fix that one. We're soon going to find out. We'll get the doors locked. Everything's ready to go. Let's get the brakes off. So just looking at this, we are cleared all the way through. There's a couple of go vias, but we're going all the way to Leicester. So should be quite a nice run. Let's take a look outside. Oh, there's the Northern 158. That is appearing courtesy of Creators Club. That is the one by Yorkshire Lad, which we ran on the Peak Forest in a recent live stream that we did. Go and check that out. That was good fun. So I'm waiting for the first DSD to come up. At least we can confirm that and see if that is working. And once we come out of the station, we should be able to speed up to 75. It seems a little bit less flickery to me as well. That was another issue, so that's probably part of the performance update that they've talked about. We'll just idle it as we come out. There's actually quite a few Northern Livery 158s. There's another one over there, look. Okay, let's come up to speed. It's a lovely time of day to run this service. 7:47 in the morning. Just getting that early morning sunlight. East Midlands Parkway is our first go via, actually. And I know there was a lot of feedback, and a lot of you guys told me when we're doing live streams, you guys that know the area, there was nobody walking about at East Midlands Parkway. Not a soul. And one of the improvements that they've done is to add NPCs in at East Midlands Parkway. So as we pass through, we could be passing through at speed. Let's just double check and we'll just see. So let's have a look what's been done then. So the timetable expansion we went through at the beginning added 89 HST services, particularly between Derby and Leicester. Added 20 Ivanhoe services between Leicester and Nottingham, including 3 freight services. So as mentioned, freight services are not yet available as of today on console. There was also the Rail Operations Group 37 service from Derby to Leicester. That was also added, but again, not quite yet on console. So if you're looking for that, it isn't there just now. The re-enabled Taunton to Leicester aggregate freight service, again, not on console just yet. And we have the updated Class 66 rail tour, which will now use the Southeastern High Speed Class 66 rather than the Railhead treatment train. That's nice. Here's a big one. Passengers should no longer get stuck in the doorway, and there are some general improvements to passenger behaviour, so particularly in the 158. Every single time you tried to get up out of your seat and come out from the cab into the sort of vestibule, if you will, behind the driver's cab, there was somebody blocking your way. Sometimes you could get out and you could go for a wander on the platform to have a look round or pick up a collectible, etc. But then you couldn't get back to your seat. That's happened to me so many times. So I'm pleased that they fixed that. So they shouldn't be blocking the doorways anymore. Updated Class 158 physics, that covers quite a lot of stuff in the actual main patch notes, so go and check that out. Rain and snow will now wipe away when using the wipers. There's been updated vehicle coupling and logic, remodeled bridges across the route, numerous environment fixes and updates, including station updates and adding the new Derby roundhouse. I didn't notice that actually when we were at Derby. And then general performance optimization across the route. That's the main headlines from the roadmap. But as I said, do go into the forums. DTG Alex did post the full patch notes this morning. These patches all went out about 10 AM UK time, BST. So you should get those. This patch for the Midland Main Line was on the PS5. It was only 305 megabytes, so it wasn't massive considering some of the stuff that appears in the list. So let's just see. I don't think we've had a DSD alarm yet, so we've not tested that. I'm trying not to press any buttons, and then we'll get the DSD alarm. I'm sure one of them is going to come up. I never run with a keyboard on the console, so I can't cancel the DSD with the keyboard like some of you guys can. So I'm completely reliant on the controller. So that was a big issue for me. I had to just completely run with the DSD off. Need to slow down now, actually. So let's do that. Got an 80 coming up in just over a mile. So far so good. It's probably it's between 5 and 2 miles away from Leicester, where this would normally crash on me. And I ran this as late on as last night just to double check. Same thing, same problem. So I'm kind of hoping that it's fixed with this patch. We'll see. We'll see. For me, this was the best test to see if things have improved. The other thing we should probably look at, and I don't see it mentioned anywhere specifically, as another Northern 158 comes past. I see more of them than I do of the East Midlands ones. Once we get to the power station at East Midlands Parkway, we used to get the sort of jelly effect cooling towers, didn't we? I wonder if anything has been done with that. We'll see quite shortly, because they should be coming up. I was over speeding just slightly there. Right, so here's the cooling towers coming up on the right hand side, as you can see. They still look a bit squishy to me. It's just coming into focus now. Let's just see once we get around these trees. They look a bit square to me. Could be my eye. Let's try and look a bit closely. I think they're better, aren't they? They're definitely better. They're more block shape at the moment, as you can see, but what it does do is it stops them looking like they're about to collapse, which is what they looked like before. They look very very wobbly. But we're nearly East Midlands Parkway. We also had some clipping of this bridge. This metal was clipping. That looks higher to me now, so that's better. Those girders were clipping the top of the HST and the 158 previously. Let's check out East Midlands. Let's see if we've got any takers. We're not stopping for them, but we'll check. Got another HST going the other way. So I can get up to speed through here, but because we're having a look, I won't accelerate just yet. Plenty of cars in the car park. Do we have the people? There's a couple. There they are. There's one guy waiting on his own. But we definitely do have some people over that side, and we've got some waiting on this side, so that's quite nice. It did look a bit empty, didn't it? Right, let's put some speed in, because we're coming up to the other crunch time. We should get past this next go via before we experience any possible trouble. Like I said, so far so good. It's been a shame really, because I was having so much problems with it. I couldn't stream it. You guys that are regulars will know that there were 3 or 4 occasions where I was streaming the Midland Main Line, because it's quite a good route. It is quite nice, and it's really great to be able to run the HST. But you know, we were streaming it, and then the PS5 would just crash. The game would crash. It would crash back to the PS5 menu, and because I'm not streaming it via a capture card, if the game goes down, the stream goes down. So there was a couple of times where the stream just completely cut off. In fact, there's one amusing one you'll probably find, or you'll remember if you go back, where I think we're coming into Nottingham Station, and I can tell something's going to happen, and you can hear me right at the end say, oh dear, something's happening, I think we're going to crap, and then the stream ends. It's quite good. If you go back and listen to it, you can clearly hear say we're about to crap, and then it goes. So funny though it is, it wasn't ideal when you're actually you guys are in the chat and we're having fun talking about TSW. We definitely don't want that to happen. So I know that just looking at the forums and talking with the other ambassadors on the Discord, I know that Skyhook have taken it very, very seriously. They've been working flat out to get these problems fixed. So I know this one won't complete for me. So this will measure it for me as to how good the fixes are. So we've got just under 6.5 miles to Barrow upon Soar. Other than the usual type of small popping that we're getting, I'm not seeing any major issues at the moment. It'd be nice to enjoy this route all over again. I know it was only... When did this come out? Was it April? It's not been out long, has it? I think it was April. I'd need to go back and check. But, you know, within the first week we were getting those issues. And, you know, as I said, I have, unfortunately, largely not played Midland Main Line because of the issue. It's been sat there in the list, and I've been looking down the list of routes and wanting to press the button, but I know it's just gonna crash on me or something else. So now hopefully we can all get back into it, and if you haven't picked the route up, you can perhaps now consider it. And you know, I think they said on the roadmap last night, JD was saying that if you have left a review of the route anywhere, and I think he was particularly talking about Steam, because I don't think on the PlayStation, I don't know about the Xbox, on the PlayStation I think you can leave a rating. I don't think you can leave an actual text documented review of what you like and what you don't like. So I think on Steam, you know, if you've left a review that reflected how the route was, but now you find that all those issues have been resolved, JD was asking last night on the roadmap stream that you maybe go back and just edit the review to say what the current status is. And I think that's a fair thing to say, because you leave feedback initially, then the developers take note of the feedback, correct what it was that wasn't working, or what players didn't like, and then it should be open up to feedback again. Has it improved? Has it got any better? Have the players been listened to? So I think that's a fair request, to be honest. So, you know, if you are watching this, you did leave a slightly negative review. If you play it again and you feel like it has improved and it's answered a lot, if not all, of the issues you had with it, then yeah, just update the review. If it's still not right, of course, it's still not right, but it's a nice route. So we are nearly at Barrow. I want to say that to you one day, and it'd be Barrow in Furness. Because that's not far from me. That means we get more local lines to me. So I'm saying it's not far. It's probably over an hour by train from Preston. Just slowing up now for this 115. So far the DSD hasn't sounded, so I've not tested that. Another Northern 158. I don't know how the Northern one is appearing more than the East Midlands one. That's strange, isn't it? It doesn't seem very random to me. It seems like it's instead of. Right, so here comes the test now between here and Leicester. 7.9 miles to go. We'll speed up a little bit. Due there in 6 minutes, well, just under 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes. So we'll see what we can do. I really do hope that this is fixed, because I'm going to get stuck into this route. I feel like I've not really delved into it the same way I do when a new route comes out. I felt like I've not been able to properly do that, and it's been a bit frustrating, but it's really good how Skyhook have took notice and they've gone away, and they've obviously been working solid. They really did. They did want to get it sorted out as quickly as possible. I think they're quite proud of the route, and they should be. So fingers crossed, because we are 6.6 miles from Leicester. So usually between 5 miles and 2 miles from Leicester is where I get the trouble with this one. I've never been nearer than 2 miles for this scenario. So we'll see. Let's check outside. It's looking good, isn't it? Very nice to drive the HSC both here and on Great Western Express. And don't forget, if you do have the Great Western Express and you have the Birmingham Cross City line, there are some services for the Great Western Express HST on the Birmingham Cross City line, and you get to take the HST up the Lickey Incline. There is a video on the channel from some time ago, if you go back and have a look, where we did just that. .7 miles. We're getting into uncharted territory right now. So I was going to run this live this morning, but because I didn't quite know whether I was going to get the crashing problems, I decided against it for now. But we will do one quite soon, providing that this works fine. If this works, then I can kind of safely say that things are going to be okay. And we've only got 3.4 miles to Leicester. Speed's looking good. We do have a 115 coming up, which we are doing right now, so let me just idle it, being as we're on straight and level ground right now. So if you guys have got the Midland Main Line and you're jumping in again this morning or today, drop me a comment below, let me know how you're finding it. Has some of your feedback been answered? Is there anything else that you wanted fixing that hasn't been fixed this time around? Because I think that, you know, this round of fixing will by no means be the end. This is just the start. So what they will have done is pushed out the main fixes for issues that people were having. As long as that, I should say, it's not just fixes, is it? They've put some improvements to scenery, etc. So, you know, this is the first round. They're probably still working on some stuff, I expect, in the background that didn't quite make it for this patch, but you can tell with the way that Skyhook are talking on the forums, especially Jane, who I think is the Chief Technical Officer at Skyhook. I think that is her role. She's quite passionate about getting this right, so they will keep working on it until they iron everything out. So, you know, be assured that they're looking at it. Right, we've got a 40 coming up. We have got the approach now into Leicester Station. We're about half a minute from being due, so we're not bad, are we? We're not actually bad. And we didn't come up to full speed through East Midlands Parkway either, because we were looking for people on the platform. So we haven't done bad time-wise. I'm not going to say anything about this scenario actually finishing until I am stopped at the station and I get the summary screen. But I have got a lot further, obviously, than I have before. The station is in sight. So I'm just going to bring the speed down for this approach into Leicester on this bright, sunny morning. A red light at the end of the platform we just need to be mindful of. Just feather the brake a little bit. There we go. Let's get the doors open. That's quite nice, isn't it? In honour of all the railway men and women who have served their country, lest we forget. That's quite nice. Not only is it quite nice that it probably appears at the real Leicester station, but it's nice that it's also been recreated in the game. Let's lock the doors. And I did get a trophy, MML Marathon Champion. So I'm assuming that is the trophy for completing all scenarios on the Midland Main Line. So there you have it, we did it. So I'm happy with that. The only thing I didn't test was the DSD. We didn't have an opportunity for it to go off in that run. But from my own perspective, the feedback that I had that was stopping me playing it has been fixed. So I'm hoping when you guys jump in, you're going to have a similar experience and it's going to be enjoyable again. But do let me know down below. Give me your feedback. And not also that, I've only tested Midland Main Line. There's lots of new stuff, even going back to the BR204 little shunter that we had for main Spessart Barn. There was a problem on there for years, which was the PZB lights weren't appearing in the hood or on the desk. They fixed that. I'm looking forward to going back to main Spessart Barn and getting in the 204. It's a nice little shunter. But Midland Main Line was the most recent thing that I was struggling with, and I'm so pleased that from my perspective, some of my problems with this have been fixed. I have other issues that I want to have a look at, but they were very minor. This was the big one. So yeah, leave me your feedback down below. Thanks again for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.